back. That's right, guys. Randy Orton, Fan 2011, finally back here doing Yenner 2003, and I'm here to bring you the first playoff race in this season. In this season three, the first race in the playoffs for the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series. So we're here at Chicagoland. We'll be here for both the Nationwide and the Cup Series, and of course now that we have gotten the playoffs underway here, of course 16 drivers all looking for that big championship, but only one will be able to get that, and we'll see who will get the momentum in this first race of the playoffs. We're going to take a look at the starting lineup, and then we'll take a look at the 16 playoff drivers and who will be competing for the championship. Let's look at your starting lineup. Here come the 16 playoff drivers. Sean Henley is the first one of the playoff drivers who will be starting on the pole alongside Barney Ward, who picked up 2 wins over the course of the season. He earned the spot via a wild card. Charles Jackson is the next one in third. I believe the next one is Ryan Richards. He will be starting in the 7th position. Next up is James Silverfox, who will be starting in 11th. Our next one is Ron Fajara, who came up with that big win at Hogzilla, and now he's looking to build that momentum heading into the first race of the playoffs. We also want to mention Dylan Potey. This guy's finished second in the Nationwide Series standings in both seasons, so we'll see if Dylan Potey can finally break out and win that first championship in the Nationwide Series. Also, I mentioned there is the defending champion, Danny Wells, and he's looking forward to defending his title. Some other guys we want to talk about: Robert Wagner, another big surprise in the field for the chase. We'll see if he can pull off a major upset here. Another one we want to mention: Liam Ervig. Stayed in the top 10 pretty much most of this regular season. Now he is back in 15th position, but with the points pretty well bunched up. Now it's pretty much it's pretty much all out. It's pretty much all out at this point. There's Seth Cole, who missed the playoffs last season, but now he's back in it this season. There was the former points leader, Michael Norman. He was the points leader after round 20, but because he only has 1 win, he is now tied for second in the points, and there's a bunch of tiebreakers that I will not go into. We also want to mention there's a couple more drivers. There's Dylan Young. I believe Dylan Young is starting back in 30th. There we go. Another driver I want to mention, James McLeod, got in with a win, and he will be starting towards the back. There's another driver. I still think, yes, we still have more, I believe. And I think we got a couple more. Yes, Joseph Lombard. He actually had that win. Had that win in the Nationwide Series back at Denver, or in that snow track. He's also tied for second in the points. And then finally we got the actual points leader, Trent Dunham. He is actually one of 2 drivers at this point who has 2 wins, but since Barney Ward got in via the wild card, Trent Dunham was in the top 10 in points after round 20, so Trent Dunham is currently your points leader. But now, with all the points bunched up now, at this point in the season, it's going to be fair game. It's everyone's fair game to see who will win the championship. So we'll see how everything transpires. But I also got a couple new things here. I also pulled off a couple new tricks. Races will be slightly longer than usual, and I have also added pit stops. That's right, I am adding pit stops for the first time in my series ever. For the first time starting this race, I'm going to add pit stops. So now we will most likely have a definitive winner as we get ready to go racing for 24 laps here at Chicagoland. Who's ready for some racing in the Windy City? 24 laps here at Chicagoland. Going to be an interesting race here all throughout. We'll see who will come out on top. I know these cars will have to make at least one pit stop over the course of the race. See what happens if the pace car makes the left turn to pit road. And here we go. Green flag is out. The playoffs are underway. It's a brand new season for 16 drivers, and for 26 other drivers, they're just looking for some win. They're just looking to win races. That's all for 26 drivers. They're just looking to win races, and for the other 16, they want to make sure they get good finishes to stay in contention for that championship. Sean Henley trying to defend the lead, leading a one lap, and we already got a yellow flag. Yep, yellow flag's already out. Red bell is in the wall. Looks like James Qualls. Oh shit, there's a second incident. Second incident is around. Ryan Juke and Dylan Young, one of the chasers, one of the championship contenders, is around. Yellow flag is out for the first time in this race. Sean Henley beats the field back to the start-finish line. We'll take a look. We'll put us under yellow flag number 1. Stay tuned. This brings it yellow flag number 1 in the race, and I believe Joseph Lombard gets a nice run heading into turn 3. Gets a little help from Trent Dunham, I believe. And then James Qualls tries to block, and that's not going to be good for James Qualls. He comes right back up the racetrack into Red Bell, and there is Johnny Gardner, I believe, getting in the middle of that. Now something happens around this part of the track. Oh, they're right around here, right around mid-pack. Happens right around mid-pack. The first guy that goes around is Ryan Juke. I believe Ryan Juke actually tries to block Ryan Cooper heading off of turn 4, and he just gets into the wall. Liam Irvin going to take some damage there. But Dylan Young's going to be the biggest loser out of that one. He takes a nice amount of damage. That is not the way Dylan Young wanted to start this playoff season. Sean Henley beats the field to the line, and we'll get you back to the green flag. We're back. Looks like we'll see the first bit of drivers start to make some early pit stops, including the leader, Sean Henley, going to come in for an early stop. Ben Paul also going to come in for an early stop. We'll see if this strategy works out in the end. So now pit strategy comes into the factor of this race. And since Sean Henley gave up the lead, he'll give up the lead to his best friend Charles Jackson, who leads a lap, and he gets a major bonus point for leading one lap. Remember, you get one bonus point for leading a lap, and that is huge heading in this playoffs, especially early in the playoffs race. Oh, got a little rubbing going on in pit road between Trent Dunham and Red Bell. I don't know what's going on with those two. Looks like a couple cars have DNF from the race, I think. Let me check the leaderboard here. I think Dylan Young might be the first one who has DNF from the race. Trent Dunham looks like he's already coming for a pit stop. So a couple drivers already making early pit stops. We'll see if this strategy works out at the end of this race, but now that will drop Sean Henley back to, I believe, outside the top 30. Ben Paul will also be well towards the back of the pack, as we are just about, and we'll get you back to the green flag right after this. We're back, PSR giving us the one to go. Here comes the top 10 rundown. Charles Jackson, your current leader. Barney Ward, second. Richard Johnson, third. Jacob Lawler, fourth. Jack Richards rounds at the top 5. John Dillon is in 6th. Ryan Richards, one of the chase contenders, is in 7th. Kyle Sosnowski, 8th. Another contender, James Silverfox, is in 9th. And another championship contender, Dylan Poteet, rounds at the top 10. 3 cars are DNF from the race. Red Bell, Dylan Young, and Max Russell is also DNF because he has blown his engine. Dylan Young's going to be the biggest loser out of that one. In the first incident, that was just enough damage for him to DNF from the race. Not the kind of start Dylan Young wanted to see, finishing second to last. Green flag is back out in the air for the restart on lap 6. Now, our previous leader, the leader that got to the line at the time of the yellow flag, Sean Henley, he's back in the 20. He's back actually in the 30th position now, because of making that early pit stop. So now pit strategy will play a factor here, a major factor actually. Now we're going 3 wide through turns 3 and 4, and Charles Jackson's around. Ryan Richards is around, and more. More cars are around. I think Danny Wells, our defending champ, and here comes more cars. They're just piling in. Michael Norman got a piece of it. Seth Cole's in it. Charles Jackson, I believe, was the first guy that got turned around. Yellow flag is out again. And Richard Johnson beats the field to the line. Something happened with Charles Jackson. I don't know what happened. That only took 1 full lap. But something happened with the previous leader, Charles Jackson, and he's got quite a bit of damage on that 15 machine. It looks like another car is broke down, I think, or not. They're just letting them back in line. But quite a lot of cars with hefty amount of damage, as far as I know. Look at that, Jacob Cook, heavy damage to that 56 machine. Liam Ervig, one of the chase contenders, has more damage. Well, this is not being and there's James Silverfox. He looks like he's got plenty of damage. He might got some damage on that 18 machine, so. And just like that, we got a couple, and I think we got a couple cars making pit stops, actually. I don't think James Silverfox had damage. It looks like these guys are just making pit stops. You see Dylan Poteet, Rhett Yates, Richard Johnson, John Dillon, Jack Richards, Barney Ward making their stops. And now the rest of the field will make their stops, as we can see here. Take a look who will get out first. Of course, these guys must fall back in order. Will have to fall back in order. We'll see who has any mishaps over the course of the pit stops. Who's going to make it out first is the big question. It looks like Eric Burton will be the first out of that group out. Looks like Ron Fajar will be number 2, Robert Wagner 3rd, Sam Young 4th. Xavier Livingston will come out 5th out of that group. Johnny Gardner 6th, David Burton 7th, Stephen Whitman 8th, Tony Blazer 9th, and Danny Wells beating Sean Henley out of the line for 10th out of the line. Trent Dunham, he's stuck on pit road, and Michael Norman, Seth Cole. Those are 3 championship contenders right there. And just like that, a bunch of championship contenders already with significant damage. So this race has turned out to be quite an eventful one, as we got a bunch of championship contenders, and not just championship contenders, a bunch of notable names around the PORWC. Seth Cole, Michael Norman, and Trent Dunham. Notable names around the PORWC getting involved in early incidents here in this race, as Jacob Lawler has been credited with the lead. Let's take a look what put us under yellow flag number 2. User brings it yellow flag number 2 in the race. Oh, it looks like Charles Jackson gets really loose off of turn 4. He makes contact with Barney Ward. Barney Ward able to stave off the contact, but right in front of him, right in front of Charles Jackson, excuse me, oh man, look at Jack Richards, Charles Jackson's alter ego, almost getting involved in that, but there's Ryan Richards getting involved. Looks like Ron Fajar taking minor damage. There's James Silverfox, Dylan Poteet able to get through. Someone hits another car, I believe. Jacob Cook actually gets some damage, and he gets into Danny Wells. And this just causes a huge pileup right at the start-finish line. Take a look at this in slow motion. Liam Ervig gets a piece of Ryan Richards, gets into Stephen Whitman, gets into Callum Wells. Cody Lump's going to get in the middle of that as well. Sean Galligan's going to get involved. Who else is going to be? Looks like Alex Jones got a piece of it. Ryan Cooper, Tony Blazer's getting in the middle of it. And I think one car got some airtime. I believe that was Sam Young. Sam Young got some airtime. There's Seth Cole and Michael Norman and James McLeod. James McLeod also went around. And Trent Dunham look at that. Trent Dunham trying to avoid the wreck. He could, and looks like he might have lost the handle on the car. He goes head on right into James McLeod. And there's Ryan Richards flipping over. Let's take a look at this again. Take a look. We'll flipped over Ryan Richards. It was actually the contact between Stephen Whitman that flipped over the 55 machine. And Ryan Richards being one of those being one of those dark horses actually in the chase, one of the big guns who could possibly steal this championship in both the Nationwide and Cup Series, already getting into trouble right from the get-go. We're not even halfway into this race. Multiple drivers getting involved in multiple incidents. I don't know how much of the field we're going to be down to left. But at this moment, Jacob Lawler is credited as the leader. Now let's get you back to the green flag. We're back. PSR is giving us the one to go once again. Jacob Lawler is your current leader. Cole Daly is in second. Dylan Poteet third. Rhett Yates fourth. And Richard Johnson rounds at the top five. John Dillon is in sixth. Barney Ward seventh. Jack Richards eighth. Kyle Sosnowski ninth. And James Silverfox rounds at the top 10. Look at all these cars that have DNF. James Qualls, Trent Dunham, Zohar Manu, James McLeod, Michael Norman, Alex Jones, Seth Cole, Liam Ervig, Ryan Cooper, Ryan Richards, Jacob Cook, and Stephen Whitman is also DNF. So I'm trying to count here. So at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars. 7 out of the 16 playoff drivers have DNF'd from this race. As we get the green flag back on lap 11 now. Joseph Lombard, he's going to go a lap down here to Jacob Lawler. Joseph Lombard trying to get out of the way as soon as possible so that he won't cause a wreck, so won't cause a big pileup towards that front end of the pack. And now Dylan Poteet is stuck behind the 73 machine of Joseph Lombard. And yellow lights are out. Yellow flag's out again. Oh, shit. Danny Wells, Tony Blazer, both the front row motorsports drivers, and Cody Lamas are around. Ryan Juke and David Burton are also around. Yellow flag is out again. Well, that didn't take long. And Cole Daly is now taking over the lead. Cole Daly will lead this lap at the halfway point, so he gets another bonus point for leading at the halfway point. However, that one win that he got at Toronto was not enough for him to make the chase, so that's tough luck for Cole Daly, but he would love to get another win right here. But more cars getting involved in all these incidents. Look at that. Danny Wells, heavy damage to the 34 machine, the defending champ. Robert Wagner got a piece of it, another championship contender. So more of our championship contenders getting involved in these incidents as we get some more pit stops going on. We'll see. We'll keep it here for the moment as they go down pit road speed at 45 miles per hour. Even though it says 44, it's supposed to be 45, but of course none of these guys want to commit a speeding penalty. Of course, that's the last thing these guys want to commit. And James Silverfox getting into it. Rhett Yates there for a little bit. Made some contact with the 47 machine. And it looks like Barney Ward. Oh, look at that. Barney Ward able to get out of front of Rhett Yates just before Rhett Yates gets too close to him. And Rhett Yates will be second. Joseph Lombard third. John Dillon fourth. Eric Burton will be fifth out of that group. Now, as the cars come to cycle around, there's Callum Wells with quite a lot of damage to that blue Deuce machine. Ryan Juke might have suffered quite a bit of damage. There's Charles Jackson. Looks like he's still on the track, but he's now in 20th position. We'll see if the leader will make a pit stop here, and then we'll take you to the replay of the third yellow flag. They won't stop yet. So for now, let's take you to the replay of what happened under yellow flag number 3. Here's what brings it yellow flag number 3 in this race, and it starts right here with Ryan Juke, who is a lap down car, Look at Sean Henley having to really go down low. Might have hit the apron there. And Danny Wells, he's going to also hit the apron, but he's going to be the first guy that goes around off of this. He gets into David Burton, and he's going to go right into his teammate Tony Blazer. And there's Cody Lamas, just nowhere to go. And man, look at Tony Blazer flip over once. That was our third yellow flag, and then Ryan Juke eventually pays for his holding up that field, because David Burton went down on the apron, gets into Ryan Juke, and gets into Robert Wagner. Robert Wagner going to take a hard hit onto the outside wall. So more championship contenders getting involved in all these incidents. Well, it's going to take a miracle for some of these championship contenders to make it out alive, that's for sure. We'll give ourselves another top 10 rundown, and then we'll get you back to the green flag. Stay tuned. After a round of pit stops, here comes the top 10 rundown. Dylan Poteet, your current leader. Richard Johnson, second. Kyle Sosnowski, third. Ron Fajar, fourth. Sam Young runs at the top 5. Xavier Livingston, sixth. Sean Henley, seventh. Ben Paul in eighth. Johnny Gardner, ninth. And Robert Wagner rounds at the top 10. And more cars have DNF'd from this race. Ryan Richards just DNF, Jacob Cook, Steven Whitman, Cody Lamas, Tony Blazer, and defending champ Danny Wells. So now we're down to 24 cars, 22 on the lead lap. We'll take the restart with 9 laps to go. We'll see if we can finally get some green flag runs here, because we are seeing quite a lot of wrecks. Maybe it's just the mindset of the first playoff race, and everyone's just going all out at this moment. I mean, I would expect something like this somewhere towards the late stages of the playoffs, but I didn't think it would come this early. So now with the diminished field, we'll see if anything happens over around the pack. But again, pay attention to the back of the pack. James Silverfox got hit the apron there for a moment. He's gonna slow down. Oh shit! There goes Charles Jackson. Charles Jackson's around. Jack Richards gonna get into him as well. Yellow flag is out again. And now they're racing back to the line. I'm going to race back to the line. Dylan Poteet trying to defend the lead over Ron Fajar, a previous race winner. Those are 2 championship contenders. Those are actually only the 2 championship contenders left who probably have a legitimate shot at this. And then you got Sean Henley running in 6th. As it comes to the stripe, Dylan Poteet will be the leader. Ron Fajar 2nd, Kyle Sosnowski 3rd, Sam Young 4th, and Richard Johnson rounds at the top 5. So more cars getting involved in all these incidents, and now comes the question of pit strategy. Will these cars have to pit? As we are under the yellow flag for the 4th time in this race, will the cars have to pit? Have to make pit stops, and that could change the complexity of this race. But now let's take a look. We'll put us under yellow flag number 4. Here's what brings up yellow flag number 4 in the race, and it looks like Robert Wagner did not get enough speed coming into turns 3 and 4. That slows up Cole Daly. Gets on the apron a little bit. And then, oh, it looks like actually Jack Richards gets loose off of turn 4. He gets into Robert Wagner, and Charles Jackson's just going to get clipped by his alter ego, Jack Richards. And that's what brings out yellow flag number 4 in this race. This is the race back to the start-finish line. It will be Dylan Poteet beats the field to the line. But again, the question is pit strategy. Take a look if any of the cars will have to make a pit stop right after this. Right before we go back to green, here comes the top 10 rundown. Dylan Poteet will be your leader heading to the green flag. Ron Fajar 2nd, Kyle Sosnowski 3rd, Sam Young 4th, Richard Johnson is the top 5, Sean Henley in 6th, Xavier Livingston 7th, Ben Paul 8th, Johnny Gardner 9th, and John Dillon rounds to the top 10. As we get set for the final restart of the race, 3 laps to go to settle this race. And again, now one yellow flag will be the end of this race. One yellow flag will end the race in a heartbeat. We'll see who will get the advantage. Again, we still got quite a diminished field out here. So again, you gotta play into pitcher here. And there they go. Around they go. Eric Burton, Joseph Lombard, another championship contender, Jacob Lawler, also involved. Yellow flag will be out. Who's going to get back to the line first? Who's going to get the line back first? It's Dylan Poteet. Dylan Poteet gets back to the line first. Ron Fajar coming oh so close in 2nd. But again, they may have to make pit stops if possible if they cannot make it on fuel. So now that comes into the picture. Will they make it on fuel? That is the big question now. Will these cars have to stop for fuel here? Look at that. Jacob Lawler took a massive hit. Eric Burton also got a piece of that. And also saw Joseph Lombard also went around. We'll get you back to we'll get you to the finish right after we take a look at what put us under the final caution of this race. This brings out yellow flag number 5 in the final one of the race. You see Eric Burton, he's really aggressive on that left rear quarter panel, and I don't know why people are going on that left rear quarter panel. They're just taking everyone out. Around goes Joseph Lombard. Eric Burton also going to get in the mix there, and Jacob Lawler just nowhere to go for the 42 machine. That was what put us under the last yellow flag of the race. Now, it got really interesting heading to the start-finish line. Ron Fajara had quite a run heading to the line, but Dylan Poteet, the veteran, able to stave him off. And now we'll take a look at who will get back to the line first. Now we get you to the finish and the final results. As they head to the stripe, there's the checkered flag. And Dylan Poteet, the defending Pepsi Cup Series champion, and the guy who has finished second in the points the past 2 seasons, has won the first race of the playoffs. That's huge momentum for Dylan Poteet, who didn't have a win at all in throughout the regular season. And what a way to start the playoffs for Dylan Poteet with a huge win, his first win of the season and his first of the Nationwide Series in his career. Ron Fajara came really close to picking up 2 in a row there, but he's going to have to sell for a second. That's his second podium finish of the season. Looks like Ron Fajara is starting to pick it up here now that he's made the playoffs. Sam Young with a really great performance as he ends up third. That's his best finish of the season and his first podium finish of the season as well. Kyle Sosnowski will end up fourth, his second top 5 of the season, and Xavier Livingston, who just barely missed the playoffs, rounds out the top 5. That's his third top 5 of the season. Sean Henley will end up 6th. That's quite a good start for Sean Henley. Richard Johnson 7th, Ben Paul 8th, John Dillon 9th, and Johnny Gardner rounds out the top 10. Now we take a look at the official race results. Dylan Poteet is your big winner. A big win for Dylan Poteet, his first win Nationwide Series victory of the season. And that is huge considering the playoff picture here now. Considering the playoff picture, with all the points being this close, Dylan Poteet picks up a big victory. And that's going to be huge momentum heading into the next race. And we didn't see a lot of chasers. We didn't see a lot of championship contenders here. We only see 3 in the top. We only see 3 championship contenders who finished in the top 10. The next one is Barney Ward, who ended up 12th. James Silverfox 14th. Next one is, I believe, Robert Wagner, who got involved in an incident. He's 19th. Charles Jackson ends up 20th. And some more of the championship contenders finished well towards the back. Joseph Lombard finishing 19th to last. Danny Wells 18th to last. The rest of the finishing order, all these DNFs, we got almost half the field DNF, at least 20 cars actually. 20 cars ended up DNFing from the race. A lot of cars DNF'd from this race. Very unfortunate to see that happen. Then you also got other championship contenders: Ryan Richards, Liam Ervig, Seth Cole, Michael Norman, James McLeod, Trent Dunham, and Dylan Young. They're going to all finish at the back. So not the kind of momentum they wanted to see heading into coming off the first race of the playoffs. And before I forget, just to make everything official, there we go. So we're done here with the Nationwide Series. Next up is the Cup Series, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And of course, I'll have co-commentary with Dylan Young, a hometown hero, at this track. We'll see if Dylan Young can come away with a victory at his home track in the Cup Series, just after having a bad after having a bad race here in the Nationwide Series. We'll see if Dylan Young can rebound and take home a good finish, or maybe even a win in his home track as we get set for the Cup Series playoffs. Of course, that will be very interesting as well. We will also have pit stops in that Cup Series race, and of course the races will be just a little longer, but trust me, they will be worth it. Alright guys, so that's it. This is Randy Orton Fan 2011 signing off. This race has been brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum taste, Pepsi Max. Remember to subscribe to me and become a member of the gang. I'm out.